Some say Chinese is one of the most difficult languages in the world, and learning it is almost impossible.
So learning Chinese, the most difficult thing.
非常非常非常非常非常难
So I'm sort of tone deaf. I can't really hear them.
I think the cultural mindset is the biggest complication for
The
us.
grammar.
知吃思诗都还难
It's just complicated. So much.
Only because you're not learning it in the right way. Why not try Takeaway Chinese, where you can take some Chinese away and experience progress day by day. Takeaway Chinese, we will promise you a difference.
你好，欢迎收听随行汉语 Welcome to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin. And today with me online, Georgia Massad. Hello, Georgia.
Hello everyone, 大家好. It's so nice to be here again.
It's great to have you here. And also, I think your sound quality is much better. Are you improving it by any means?
I actually am. I just purchased a new microphone. I don't know if you're able to hear it or hear the difference.
Our listeners can tell us through the comment area. Let us know whether or not you think it's better. I think it's definitely better. And if there's anything you want us to improve, any like how we share our insights about certain language points, what kind of stories or what kind of topic you want us to talk about, you can definitely leave us a comment in the comment area. And if you can also throw in a 5-star rating so that more people would be able to listen to the show, that will be even better. As for this episode, actually we are getting into a new series. Previously we talked about traveling, which is a fascinating topic I personally enjoy a lot. This one has a little to do with traveling as well. So here's the question. Are you the kind of traveler who would like to visit more natural places and resorts, or the kind of traveler who enjoys a little bit of cultural experience a little more?
Well, I think it's a very interesting question. I think as everyone, I can be both. It actually depends on the place. I think that for places, for example, for Europe, it's more easy to be a cultural traveler. But then, of course, there are many natural parks. But there are countries with a bigger surface and with bigger natural areas. And I've been to some. I've been to some national parks in Tanzania, so in Africa, and I enjoyed myself really, really much. It's good sometimes to actually see nature, animals in liberty and in their natural habitat.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like when you're visiting historical and cultural places, it's more of a learning experience. You are being immersed in a different culture and you're learning about other groups of people's history and how they, ended up being who they are right now. But when you're traveling in the nature, it's more like a cleansing experience for your soul and for your spirit.
Exactly.
You get to, be really close to the natural creatures and plants and the landscape. Everything can be super soothing and even therapeutic sometimes, which is why I sometimes feel like every country should have a national park.
Yeah, I totally agree with this.
Yeah, it's very valuable and it can provide people with the experience that nothing can replace. In that sense, do you know how to say national park in Chinese?
Yes, 国家公园.
国家公园, perfect. So 国家 is a country, a nation. 公园 is a park. So literally a nation's park or a national level park. 国家公园. And that is the theme of today's Takeaway Chinese. So for our dear listeners, if you're interested in Chinese culture and you want to get a grip on the Chinese language, then this is the show for you. Stick with us for 30 minutes and you soon see the words. And for more fun Chinese learning, follow our Facebook page, Learn Chinese, to watch many fun videos and live streams. But now, let's provide you with some free Chinese for takeaway. 明天我就要出发去三江源国家公园了。
听说那里有很多珍稀动物。
是的，据说有很多，其中雪豹是我最想见到的。
要注意安全，高原地区温差大，记得带上保暖的衣服。
放心吧，明天我就要出发去三江源国家公园了。
听说那里有很多珍稀动物。
是的，据说有很多。 其中雪豹是我最想见到的。
要注意安全，高原地区温差大，记得带上保暖的衣服。
放心吧。Actually, I've never been to Sānjiāngyuán 国家公园 before, but I would definitely love to go. Is there any kind of national park here in China that you particularly want to go?
Well, I haven't been hearing about many, actually. I've heard about the Sānjiāngyuán. So there are many rivers also. I've been hearing it in Chinese class also. But I think that there are many that I don't know about and that I would really, really like to visit.
Oh, great. We can talk about it in the second half of the show. First things first, let's tackle the language. For the first sentence, 明天我就要出发去三江源国家公园了。
Tomorrow, I am going to the Three River Source National Park.
Great. So, 明天
tomorrow,
我
I
就
Joe, I want to, I will.
就 is a little bit like then or just. It's the kind of word in a sentence that you definitely need if you want to sound natural in Chinese. Yet, it's not that easy to translate into a very solid meaning. It's a little bit like a preposition. It's a little bit like the functional kind of word. And here it definitely means I am just about to do this thing. So, yeah, with that meaning.
Yeah, I don't know. When I see Joe, I see this, I will soon be something that will happen soon. I don't know if it's correct.
Yeah, it's the kind of feeling, definitely. 要 is about to or want to. 出发
to go to.
To go to.
Setting off.
Yes, to start something. To leave. Perfect. 去
the verb to go.
三江源
the Three River Source National Park.
Yes, actually, when you translate it like that, it's even clearer to know what 三江源 means because 三 is 3, 江 is river, and 源, 源头, that's the source of something. So 三江源 literally is 3 river source. And it is an area of the Qinghai-Xizang Plateau located in the western part of China. It contains the headwaters of 3 large rivers of Asia, which is why it's 3 river source. And the rivers are the Yellow River, the Yangtze River, and the Lancang Mekong River. So the 3 major rivers. And just imagine the source of 3 major rivers, not only in China, but in Asia. It must be a really great place.
When I imagine it, it sounds so rich historically wise, so many important rivers as well for China's history also, not only, it's incredible.
Yes. And 国家公园, that's our keyword.
Exactly, national park.
And 啦 at the end of the sentence basically saying, yay, I'm doing this. It's like a tone kind of word, put it at the end of the sentence. And here, 就要 do something. 啦, it's, well, I think this is, you can understand it as a structure or a very often used way of forming a sentence. You use this 就要 do something 啦 to show that you're excited or you're relatively emotionally intense about this thing that is about to happen. For example, you can say 他们就要结婚了.
They're about to get married.
Yeah, see, a major thing and you're emotionally intense about it. Might be very happy or, you know, a little bit jealous. I don't know. I don't know the relationship.
Both.
Right? I don't know the relationship, so I cannot say for sure. But definitely, emotion is in place. And you can also say, I'm about to go abroad. How to say that in Chinese?
So, 我就要出国了.
我就要出国了. See, I'm about to do this thing. I'm about to, I 就要 about to 出国 off the country, out of the country. Yes. 我就要出国了. I'm about to go abroad. But sometimes you can also use it to, you know, talk about certain not that significant event. For example, it's about to rain.
So 就要下雨了.
就要下雨了. Yeah, 就要下雨了. It's about to rain. So 就要 do something. 了 is something is about to happen.
And I have a question. Could I be replacing the la with ba? Or let's do something and end it in ba?
Actually, no. You can only use la in this kind of structure because technically speaking, 就要 plus the verb plus la or le is the kind of description you talk about certain things that is about to happen. It's not something you invite people to do. That is why you do not use 把 at the end of the sentence.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then, 听说那里有很多珍稀动物.
So I have heard that there are many rare animals there.
Yes.
This is so exciting.
Yes, it is. So, 听说
I've heard that.
I've heard that.
Yes.
Yeah, and literally it's hearsay, so I hear people say. That's why it's I heard that. 那里
There.
There. 有
There are.
Yes, so have, but actually your translation is pretty good because the English sentence there are something something or here are something. In Chinese we would say 这里有 or 那里有. So that's how it works. 很多
Many.
珍稀
Zhēnxī, it's a new word for me. So rare.
It's rare, it's valuable. So 珍 carries the meaning of 珍贵, valuable. 稀少 稀少 is like not many. So rare, it's valuable, it's low in numbers, so it's rare. And we know there are also 珍贵 珍贵 is also valuable. Yes, it's also valuable, but 贵 carries the meaning of expensive. So some people would think 珍稀 and 珍贵 are interchangeable in certain scenarios, but when it comes to animals, you don't really sell animals. It's not about the value per se or price tag per se. It's about the rarity of it, which is why 珍稀动物 is kind of like a set phrase. You cannot really change it to other words.
Okay. So 珍贵, it's more for physical objects.
Yes, or
yes.
You can say 这个珠宝很珍贵. This jewelry is very expensive and very valuable.
Okay.
Or this piece of painting is valuable. 这幅画很珍贵. It's talking about the price. It's talking about the valuable in terms of, like you said, a physical object is valuable. 珍贵. And here, 珍稀动物, again, a set phrase, rare animals. 珍稀动物.
珍稀动物. Rare animals.
Yes, great. And then, 是的，据说有很多，其中雪豹是我最想见到的。
So, yes, it's true. And also, it is said that there are a lot. And among them, the snow leopard is the one that I want to see the most.
Yes, it's a very specific animal that this person wants to see. Anyway, 是的。
Yes, it's true.
据说
it is said that people are saying that.
Yes, this is a fun one because we know 听说 is I heard that. And when you're using 听说, you can say 我听说 because I heard that people are talking about this. But 据说, it's the similar meaning. It's also people are saying. It's not I read or I do not know this for sure, but I just hear people say 据说. And 据说, it is said that in Chinese, you cannot say 我据说. You can just say 据说.
Oh, okay.
That's the difference in using.
Can it be used gossiping?
Oh yeah, you can totally use it to gossip. You can say 据说他已经结婚了. It is said that he's already married. 但他俩好像很好哎. They seem very close. See, gossiping happening already.
Yes.
And the difference here is that you can say 我听说, but you cannot say 我据说.
Okay, this is important to know.
Yes. 有 is, we know there are, have, 很多, many. And here,
many?
Yes, 很多 is many. And the thing is, when Chinese people want to reiterate something or stress something, it is sometimes people would just repeat what previous person has said. So here, the previous sentence is 听说那里有很多珍稀动物. And part A said 据说有很多. So if you're not only learning the language, but also learning the tone, here definitely the tone should be 据说有很多. You want to put stress on 很多.
Okay.
That's the idea. And then we have 其中.
So among them.
其中, among them. 其 actually means that. Or like 那个 or 那些, just like those things or people.
Oh.
And
I never used it in this sense.
Oh yeah. And 中 carries the meaning of middle or within. So among those.
Among those, 其中.
其中. So among those, you want to say something about the previous things that you're talking about using the word 其中. For example, I can say 我有4辆汽车. 其中3辆是新车。
So I own 4 cars. And among them, 3 are new ones.
Yes, that's the idea. So you want to talk about a collective idea and then say among them something about the things that you're talking about among them. Yeah, that's how it works. So the collective idea first and then 其中 something you want to talk about. And for example,
very important.
Yeah, it's very useful. We can say, for example, of the 3 umbrellas in the office, 2 are the bosses.
Oh, okay. So 公司里有3把伞，其中2把是老板的。
Perfect. So 公司里有3把伞. There are 3 umbrellas in the office. 其中
total.
Yeah, that's basically saying among the total 3 umbrellas, 2把 2是老板的 belong to the boss. That's how you use it.
Oh, perfect. Oh.
Can you come up with a sentence by
He's
yourself?
ready for rainy days.
Oh, yeah, he is.
我有3狗 so 3 dogs.
我有3条狗。
3条狗，其中我最喜欢的是 guitar.
Oh, that's perfect. That's how you use it. That's perfect. See, that's how you do it. You talk about the collective idea and then say 其中 and talk about the specific several ones that you want to talk about.
Oh, this is very important.
And here we have 其中雪豹.
So the famous snow leopard.
Yes, the snow leopard. So 雪 is snow and 豹 is leopard, and it's an easy one. Just translate each characters. Now you know how to say snow leopard in Chinese, 雪豹. And apparently, 雪豹 is one of those many rare animals we talked about before. That's why 其中 is used in the sentence. And we have 是.
It is to be.
我
I.
最
The most.
the most, the greatest. 想见
And so I want to see.
want to see. 想见到 want to see. 的 and that's the thing. You want to put a 的 at the end of 想见到 so that this 的 basically transfer the adjectives into a noun. Because the sentence basically is the noun is a noun, and the first noun is 雪豹, and the second noun is the animal that I want to see the most. But without the animal, you put a 的 at the end of I want to see the most and transfer the I want to see the most into a noun.
Oh, okay.
I think that's another thing about the Chinese language. Even though we're not really specific or strict when it comes to subject or object or number, we omit a lot of things, but the basic structure of a sentence should be correct. So if you're talking about one thing is a thing, the thing has to be, a thing. So what I'm saying is if you say noun A is noun B, then you want to make sure after the verb is, the structure should be a noun.
Yeah, and also it comes more natural. It would be off without the de, I think.
Exactly. So learning the language sometimes means you need to put more emphasis on the details, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Let's make the language perfect and easy on the ears. Yes. And then we have 要注意安全.
要注意安全. So be sure, stay safe, be careful.
Yes. 要
To want to, in this case, to be.
Yes, or should. You should.
You should.
注意
To be sure.
or pay attention to.
Pay attention.
Yes. 安全
Safe, so safety.
Safety. 注意安全 is actually a set phrase in Chinese. You say 注意安全, pay attention to safety. I know it does not make that much sense if you really think about it. How can I pay attention to safety? I want to stay safe, but how to pay attention? But that means you should pay attention to your surroundings so that you can stay safe. So that's the logic behind it. You can remember it as this, so it's easier to remember the set phrase 注意安全.
注意安全. Be careful, stay safe.
高原地区温差大，记得带上保暖的衣服。
高原地区温差大，记得带上保暖的衣服. So there is a very big temperature difference in the plateau area. So always remember to bring warm clothes.
Great. 高原
高原, so the plateau.
Yeah, actually, 高 is high and yuan is basically a plain or a flat area. So 高原 is a flat area with a high altitude.
Okay, so yeah, it's very cold.
Yeah, so it's plateau. And 地区
The region, the region, the
region,
area also.
Area or terrain, basically that. 温差
Temperature difference.
Temperature difference, perfect, because 温 is 温度 is temperature. 差异 or 差别 difference. So literally 温差 is temperature difference. And there is a thing. So 湿度 basically we're talking about how wet it is, but there is no such thing as a 湿差. It does not exist. I know this might be the confusing part of the Chinese language. That is, you can sometimes shorten certain phrases to make them a new word, but you cannot do that for some other situations. So my suggestion is that to remember how people actually use it without creating words by yourself too willy-nilly, because you will not make it right every single time.
And I have a question. Could cha alone mean to lack something?
Oh, actually, yes.
Okay. Because I thought I remembered it in this way, but it has many meanings, I think.
Yes, actually, you can say, for example, if you're shopping in a supermarket and you have a shopping list and you're trying to figure out whether or not you still lack something that you have not put into the cart, shopping cart, you can say, 还差什么吗? Anything lack or lacking?
Okay.
You can use it like that.
Okay, perfect.
And 大
So big, in this case, a very big temperature difference.
Yes. 记得
Remember
to 带上
bring along with you.
Yes. 保暖
So thermal and protecting also.
Yes. Actually, 保 carries the meaning of keep or protect. And 暖 温暖 is warm. So something that can keep you warm. 衣服
Clothes.
Yes, so 保暖的衣服 is basically warm clothes. It's the kind of clothes that will keep you warm.
Yes.
Actually, you can also say 暖和的衣服 warm clothes, literally.
Okay. So in this case, it's a bit more specific. So thermal and made for cold weather.
Yes, it's relatively more logical, I think. But 暖和的衣服 totally people will get you as well. And then 放心吧
放心吧. So don't worry.
No worries. Yes, perfect. So 放心
放心 is to don't worry.
Yes.
Or just worry.
Don't worry. Yes, 放心.
Yes.
And 吧 is
ba.
the end of the sentence saying that it's a suggestion, but it's also telling you to just reassure you that you do not have to worry about it. And I think we're ready to try the conversation.
Yes.
明天我就要出发去三江源国家公园了。
听说那里有很多珍稀动物。
是的，据说有很多，其中雪豹是我最想见到的。
要注意安全，高原地区温差大，记得带上保暖的衣服。
放心吧。You're listening to Takeaway Chinese with myself, Niu Hongli, and Georgia. We would love to hear from you. Send us your thoughts via email to learnchinese@cri.com.cn. Coming up next, let's talk about protecting the environment and building national parks so that animals are protected and people are enjoying the natural environment. Don't go away, so you will take some Chinese away. Welcome back to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Hongli, joined by Georgia from online. So Georgia, I'm not really sure if this is a stereotype, even in a positive way, but I feel like climate change, protecting the environment, fight carbon emission is something that is very hot, very trendy, and very topical, especially among young people. You're young, is that true?
Yes, it's true. It can be kind of a cliche, but sometimes cliches are born for a reason. So I think that this is a struggle we carry with us. And in this situation, so I'm talking about national parks and also protecting the animals and not only even trees. I think this is something that it's truly important to me and not also. And it's so important that it makes me so happy to see when endangered species of animals and not only are being taken very seriously, and the government actually does everything in its power to protect these animals, because there are many that we don't see anymore and that are just gone, and which is so sad.
Yes, and the reason I like national parks a lot is because, especially compared to zoos, most zoos, the smaller one in the city, I get that zoos are there for a good reason. Some animals are just simply not able to live in the nature anymore. And also our kids, the next generation, need a place to observe the animals and to learn about nature, especially when they live in a city. But personally, I really don't like zoos. I feel like the animals are not lived the way that they should be living, and they're in relatively small cages or homes that it does not work for me. But national parks are totally different. And also in many national parks, animals and endangered species are being protected, and people can enjoy to a certain extent. Some of them need to stay in a car, lock yourself in a cage instead of locking the animals in a cage. So you can tour in the national parks and enjoy all that while protecting animals and give them the place and living condition they deserve, which is why I am all for national parks. And in order to have proper national parks, actually we need to have a good natural environment in general. Make sure the trees are there, the environment is there, and that is basically I feel like the basic condition. And
yes, I totally agree. I've actually never been to some zoos before. I've only been to natural parks and I saw lions, only regular leopards, not the snow leopard, but seeing the leopard actually sleep on a tree and be completely free, not even noticing us passing on
that's so
on a
nice.
car. It was so heartwarming, and not only also the vegetation. It is so respected, and I actually right now really want to go to the Sānjiāngyuán and see the snow leopard.
Oh yeah, actually Sānjiāngyuán is one of the 5 national parks here in China. And actually the Sānjiāngyuán 国家公园 is one of the 5 first batch of national parks here in China. We have the Three River Source National Park, that's the Sānjiāngyuán 国家公园, the Giant Panda National Park, that's 大熊猫国家公园, and the Northeast China Tiger and Leopard National Park, that's 东北虎豹国家公园, and also Hainan Tropical Rainforest National Park, that's the Hainan 热带雨林. By the way, not only protecting animals, but also forests, also plants as well. And the last one is Wuyishan National Park, Wuyishan 国家公园. These 5 national parks are the first batch of national parks here in China. And as of the end of 2021, nearly 10,000 PAs of various types and levels had been established, covering more than 17% of China's land area, bringing under effective protection 90% of its natural ecosystem types and 74% of key state-protected wildlife species. And knowing these actually makes me very, very happy.
This is so good to hear. Also, I think that China, compared to other countries such as France, Italy, has such a vast territory and so many different ecosystems also, I can imagine, because tropical rainforest and also giant panda, it's something that we can only dream about. And having this luck to actually have all of these species of animals, and not only, it's something that must be protected, absolutely. And I'm really happy to hear these numbers.
Yeah, me too. And the thing is, with this vast land and so many different species and this complicated natural environment, actually, in order to protect, you need to understand the local situation and to give them the kind of condition, the kind of push or a little nudge that the area actually need, instead of just plant some trees or introduce certain creatures that should not be there. So a lot of research has been done, and a lot of scientists are in all these different national parks learning and doing research to better protect local creatures and local plants, which is also a good news. And another thing China is actively doing is that it has announced the targets of peaking carbon dioxide emissions before 2030 and achieving carbon neutrality before 2060, which is also very important. We've already talked about the fact that we love national parks, but the environment needs to be good enough to have national parks. And combating climate change and global warming is definitely one important step.
Absolutely.
And one other thing I'd like to introduce to you today is we have a very, I feel like, common phrase we say here in China already. That is 绿水青山就是金山银山. Have you ever heard of it?
No, and I'm lost. Can you repeat it again, please?
Yes. 绿水青山.
绿水青山.
Yes. So 绿 is green. 水 is water. 青 is also green, but darker green. 山 is mountain.
Oh.
So when the water is really clean, it appears to be a little bit green.
Wow.
And when the mountain is full of plants, it would appear in this darker green kind of color. So 绿水青山 can actually be translated as lucid water and lush mountains. 就是 just is 金山银山.
金山银山.
Yeah, so 金 is gold, yin is silver. So 金山银山 is basically saying that it's very valuable, it's great treasure that you should cherish. So we're basically
like
saying,
gold.
Yeah, lucid water and lush mountain is the kind of resource that we should definitely cherish. We should treat them as valuable as golden and silver mountains.
Oh, absolutely. I think we've been focusing a lot on, yes, the industrial side and city side, but we have to go back to nature and how important it is for us also.
I totally agree. And in the same time, I'm actually happy to see more and more people, especially the younger generation, pay attention to the protection of environment. And hopefully, after years of endeavor, great effort, like the low carbon development kind of projects in place in not only China, but all around the world, we can tackle the climate issue and make the world a better place.
Absolutely.
And that brings us to the end of today's Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin with Georgia.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you. For more episodes of the show, you can visit our website at radio.cgtn.com and go to the column podcast. You can also listen to the show and read the script there. Find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Just search for Takeaway Chinese. Don't forget to leave your questions, comments, and ratings. 感谢收听，我们下次再见。
再见。